Got him. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Folarin Balogun is going to play for the United States men's national team. This is an absolutely massive pickup for this team going forward. This is the position, the player that we needed, and we're going to break down exactly how and why this world-class talent is going to bring the United States to the next level here on Stars and Strikes.
And it's a goal for the United States. Le va a pegar al arco, busca el pelotazo, golazo,
Jim Ballistic, you're listening to Stars and Stripes.
Welcome back to an emergency episode of Stars and Strike. It's been a while, but we are back with an absolute bang, as all of you know. And as I said in the intro, Folarin Balogun is going to play for the United States men's national team over England and Nigeria. This is an absolutely massive pickup and just a great piece of finally some positivity. Since the World Cup, there's been a lot of negativity surrounding the national team. All the Greg Berhalter things, the players struggling, the relegation battle for Leeds United States. And yeah, I guess this is just the thing that can finally get the U.S. fans pumped and ready to go going into Nations League, because Balogun is going to be available for those games, and we're going to talk exactly how and why that's going to be huge. But the biggest thing is he is what we've been missing. Throughout the history of this channel, we have talked about who is going to be the number 9, who can score the goals. It's what we were missing at the World Cup. We didn't have that guy. Yeah, Haji Wright scored an accidental goal against the Netherlands, but the biggest question mark and the biggest hole in this team is, do we have a consistent goal scorer? And finally, now we do. And he's one of the best young goal scorers in all of Europe, probably the best in his current age group. Balogun, he's 21 years old, 19 goals and 3 assists in 34 games in Ligue 1. That is the French league for Reims. Didn't make their team of the season. A little bit of a surprise, but given the likes of, all the PSG guys, Jonathan David, all those players, it's a little bit hard, obviously, to make that. But he was 5th in terms of the goal scorer list as of right now, and there's still a couple of games left for him to move up that. He's only 1 goal as behind Canada's and Lille's Jonathan David, who's on 20 right now. But what makes this so massive is he is a complete striker. And as we said before, we don't have that. He's the type of player that can score all kinds of goals. Left foot, right foot, on the break, in the air. When the ball drops to him, he's going to score. That's what he did all throughout his youth career. That's what he's proven time and time again this season. And even better yet, he had a drought for about a month recently without a goal. But he broke that goal drought a couple games ago, actually just a couple days ago, got that goal back and brought his tally up to 19. And that's something that's going to happen for all strikers. Unfortunately for some of our other strikers, it's been a lot longer. And when you just look at how he separates himself from the different players in our player pool, he can create for himself. Ricardo Pepi has had a revitalized season over in the Netherlands for Groningen, but he doesn't have that ability to beat a player off the dribble and stick it in the top corner. Balogun has that. He has that. He can do things that the rest of this player pool just cannot do. And that's absolutely massive, especially when you're looking at the competition for who's going to be the top dog in CONCACAF. There isn't going to be a World Cup qualifying cycle because 2026 is going to be on our home soil. We got Copa America coming up. So that is a massive thing and a big appeal, I'm sure, to Balogun. When you looked at his introductory not press conference, but interviews with US Soccer and with NBC, he talked about how it's appealing to him to be able to come play so soon. And I expect him to be not only on that plane to Vegas for the Mexico game in the Nations League, I expect him to be starting if he's healthy. There's so much more potential for him to play right away. And it makes sense exactly why he chose the U.S. The reality is he's not going to beat out Harry Kane. Harry Kane, I believe, 29 years of age right now. Obviously one of the best strikers in Europe. He's going to end up probably as the all-time Premier League top goal scorer. You're not starting over him. And when Gareth Southgate let him out of that squad, he kind of took us on a little tease tour. He came to the U.S. to Orlando, started posting some pictures with the Orlando Magic and the New York Yankees at spring training. And he was like, ooh, is he, maybe a little American flag here and there. And you guys just flooded his comments. Like, come to the U.S. We need you. We want you. We want you. And he spoke about that, wanting that love and feeling that love. And I think he's going to get that here if he can perform, because that's what Americans want. And he can do that. He is that type of player. And as I mentioned, it's not just this season. He had a prolific goal scoring career with the Arsenal youth ranks. And he's actually played for the U.S. at under 18 level. Played 4 games, scored 2 goals before becoming a regular with the England under 21s, where he had 7 goals in 13 games. And, coming out of England, they're not making a big deal about it. Oh, we have Harry Kane. We have Ivan Toney, who, by the way, is probably going to be suspended for a gambling violation upcoming here pretty soon. But they got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But they don't really have another under 21 striker. When Balogun pulled out of that squad a couple of months ago, they didn't have someone in that position. They got a couple younger guys. But I guess it's just the classic British, oh, we'll be fine. We don't need them. And maybe they don't, but isn't that going to be nice if Balogun's banging in some goals, and let's say Harry Kane goes down and they don't have anyone, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin starting up top for them in 2026? Yeah, that'd be tough. And as we mentioned, Balogun this season playing in France on loan from Arsenal. There is no option to buy from Reims, whatever, it's a French word. I can't speak today, but there is no option to buy. So he's been linked all over Europe. It doesn't really seem like Arsenal has a spot for him. Obviously, he's behind Gabriel Jesus, and they prefer Eddie Nketiah over him as well. So do I think he's ready for that level? No. But to say that could he start for most mid-table Premier League teams? Absolutely. You see even teams around Europe, the likes of RB Leipzig, even Bayern Munich, Marseille have been interested. And I think that's kind of the level that he should be looking for. Game time at his age is the most important thing, and getting into form before these big tournaments is absolutely massive. When you look at how he fits exactly into this U.S. men's national team, starting 11, a lineup, whatever you want to say it, he slots right in there. And as of now, we don't have a coach. Anthony Hudson, I think, has done a good job as the interim manager. He's probably going to be the guy going into the Nations League until we find a new guy. I think Crocker's going to do a good job, do a thorough search. But right now, we still don't have that permanent manager, so we don't know exactly what the system that they're going to want to play. But regardless, I think he is far and away your top striker. If we go back into that 4-3-3, he can bring out the best of the likes of a Christian Pulisic. He can take the defender's attention away from him. I think Giovanni Reina and the likes of Timothy Weah fit in perfectly there. With their ability to cross the ball and create, and they would be able to get him the ball in the box so he can do what he does best, and that is put the ball in the back of the net. There has been a little bit of concern. Maybe there aren't some players he'd fit in specifically well with, but I don't think that'd be a big issue. Yes, Balogun likes to dribble with the ball. That's something he can do. He likes to fade out into those channels. Maybe where the likes of a Timothy Weah would like to operate, staying out wide, but that would also open the door for Weah to cut in, just like we saw him do against Wales, and make that overlapping run, in and out, fluid attacking motion that we see some of the best teams in the world do. And Balogun just opens up so many more possibilities. When you also have the ability, if the new manager or Hudson want to go with the 2-striker system, could you see a way where he gets to stay on the back shoulder, or maybe a Jesus Ferreira drops in deep to play in that Bobby Firmino false 9 type of role and run off of him? Do you have a Ricardo Pepi stand up there, and then you have Balogun making those runs in behind? He's a very versatile player. But at the end of the day, what he does, he scores goals, and that's what you need. And that's what we need to really make that next step. And that is to make a quarterfinal, to push for the semifinals, and God forbid, even make a final and maybe win the World Cup. Obviously, that's a big ask, but you also have the Copa America also on home soil. So it's very appealing to be a U.S. men's national team player right now, and that is very apparent. Another thing that I think is very gratifying is he talked about the culture and the players. And maybe that was under a little bit of fire. Not maybe it was under a little bit of fire after the whole Giovanni Reina Berhalter scandal that was really kind of dirty and just it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth surrounding U.S. soccer. But the ability for Yunus Musa, Timo Weah, even Matt Turner, they were very, very involved with the recruitment. Anthony Hudson said it himself. I don't think that Balogun would be playing for the U.S. if there wasn't a strong culture. It wasn't something that he wants to be a part of. Not only does he fit necessarily how we want to play on the field, he fits in with that age group. We have a fantastic young group of players between the ages of 18 to 24, 25 that are going to be moving into the primes of their careers here. And he fits right in with that. I mean, you saw when Yunus Musa first got introduced to the fold and to the player pool, you saw on social media that they were all hanging out, playing ping pong, playing video games, poking fun at each other on social media, even when they weren't in national team camps. And that's the same kind of thing with Balogun. He's going to be around players that not only are already his friends, but the type of people that he'd be wanting to hang out off the pitch anyway. And that off the field camaraderie only helps what you do on the field. I know from my playing experience, being a college lacrosse player, the teams that were the best that I've been on, both in college and growing up, whether it be soccer, football, lacrosse, usually the best teams we had were the closest ones because those are your brothers out there. You're going to fight hard and make that extra run, put in that extra work off of it, make sure you're being more disciplined because you know you have your brothers back. And I really think that's what is being built and the foundations are set here with the national team. We've talked a little bit about the different options that the U.S. have at that striker position. But right now, why don't we just kind of do a little bit of a depth chart look and be like 1, 2, 3 to who's going to start and slot in as your number 9, that first striker name on the team sheet. And for me right now, it's Balogun for all the reasons that we've discussed. He's the most complete. He's also scored the most goals. When you look across the other guys who are playing in Europe, you got Haji Wright with 15 goals, Josh Sargent with 13, and Ricardo Pepi with 12. And then when you look at the U.S. side of the coin, you have Brandon Vasquez, who's had a very disappointing start to the season. We saw him play in a couple of friendlies for the U.S., score a couple goals, but only 3 and 12 for him. Jesus Ferreira's had a really good start to the season with 8 goals and 13 games for FC Dallas. But they're still just not on the level of Balogun. They're not playing the level of competition. There's not another striker that's playing the level of competition in a Europe top 5 league, doing it week in and week out in a way that Balogun is doing it. Does this mean it's the end for these other players? Absolutely not. If anything, I think this will raise their levels. It's competitions. It's that thing where, competition brings out the best of people. And if it doesn't, you're not going to make it to the top anyway. We've already seen the likes of Ricardo Pepi elevate his game and bring it to the next level since the rumors that Balogun was coming to the U.S. I mean, just think of those friendlies back a couple months ago with Grenada when, Balogun was posting all those pictures on social media. Pepi looked like a man on a mission, came out scoring all kinds of goals and was our best player in that window in my eyes. So I think that could only be good for him. And if we talked about the possibility of doing a 2-striker system, maybe that's where Josh Sargent leans in. It's his ability to create space for others. I think Balogun can truly bring out the best in these other strikers. And not to mention, in an international window, it's very, very rare that you have all your top guns healthy and ready to go. For this upcoming one next month, Tyler Adams is probably not going to be fit for it because of his injury. We have a massive hole there. And to think that you're always going to have all your options available is just not realistic. But when you talk about that upcoming window, man, I'm excited. We're going to be there. I'm going to be in Vegas for that game. Hopefully going to get a media pass, do some interviews and talk to some of the players, give you guys some real content, some behind the scenes type stuff. If not, we'll be in the stands and we'll be doing a lot of fan interviews and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff to look forward to on that end. But you can tell when you talk to people around U.S. soccer and when you hear what they say, when you hear what Balogun said in his introductory like interviews and stuff, he mentioned Vegas. He mentioned the opportunity to play in competitive games right away. And I think, like I said, if he's healthy, he slots right in there. And I just can't wait to see. I know you guys cannot wait to see how he fits in and how he's able to mesh with the team. Maybe he doesn't start right away. Maybe the Ricardo Pepi keeps up his good form and they start Pepi and bring Balogun off the bench. Because obviously in a camp, there's only a couple days that he'll be actually playing with the likes of Pulisic and Reyna, Aronson. But I think he's going to start right away. And I think he's going to have a major impact against the likes of Mexico. And Mexico's not in a great spot. Maybe get their manager fired after the Nations League. I know that's always a good thing. Maybe a Dos Acero is on its way. Anyways, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below and on social media at Stars and Strikes Pod. Is Folarin Balogun going to be the best U.S. striker of all time? How do you think he fits in with Gio Reyna, Christian Pulisic? What does this mean for Ricardo Pepi? All this stuff that we talked about today, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on social medias. Again, that is at Stars and Strikes Pod. And I'll see you guys next time. Go, go, USA. That's all we got for you on this edition of Stars and Strikes.
This is the place to be for anything and everything USMNT. Check out our other content on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
Make sure to hit like and subscribe. And also hit us up on social media as we follow the boys on their quest for glory in Qatar. We will see you real soon.